Sir.
Thank you for responding, Diane and Norlin. Today we are continuing about the course in financial technology and data analytics. And for these sessions, we will talk about the fintech themes. And the material is taken from the fintech book, the financial technology handbook for investor, entrepreneur, and visionaries that I given to you. And it's written by Susan Christie and Janus Berbery with the Wiley Publications. Okay. In our meetings, we have the focus. A focus of our course today is talk about the fintech startup and the information about the startup companies and how the startup enjoy and maybe against about the regulations, and they are growing up and become the worldwide companies, and then they are changing about the business model and including with the disruptive condition along the world with the fintech startup. So the first theme today is about the banking versus the fintechs. It's a banking and the fintech player. We have the different institutions, but they are both of them in the financial industry. Should the banks or the fintech player make some collaborations or competition? What is your argument, Diane? They are make a collaborations or they should have a competitions? How
The
about
banks and fintech, sir.
yes, bank and fintechs?
I think it will result for a better um outcome if
Mhm.
both collaborate, since they are both interconnected with each other, sir.
Okay, do you think that bank and fintech should make some collaborations? Okay, good
Yes, sir.
opinion. Thank you for your opinions. How about you, Norlin? Do you have are you agree or you have disagree?
I agree, sir, because in today's world, technology is very rampant. So banks need technology in order for them to survive, because we all know that there are many financial institutions or companies that are existing. So if they will compete with each other,
Okay.
then
Mm.
there's a,
Then what do you want to say?
that's all, sir.
Okay, thank you. That's a good opinions. So Norlin and Diane agree that bank and the fintech players should make some collaborations. Let's see about the innovations between bank and the fintech player. We start with the bank innovations. The bank make the first innovation in 1950. I think it's long ago before you born. Yeah, the bank makes the first innovation using the credit card. The credit card is invented in 1950, and 20 years again, 20 years later, they are make some innovation using the automatic teller machine. Okay, and in 2016, bank making a new innovations with the accessibility, like using embedding the technology between the banking and smartphone. They are make collaboration with the big data and also with the social media and the cloud computing. And then for the fintech innovations or the fintech companies, they are starting in 2014, and they have the technological advance. They make the contactless technology and create some digital wallet, and also with the new uh, transactions using the cryptocurrencies. Uh, bet between the innovations, the banking and the fintech player, they are applied with the EPI. What is the EPI? EPA is application programming interface. In the other words, they are a set of tools, or we could say that there is a software components. On in the simple words, we call it a system. EPI is a system. EPI is a software. The implementation of EPI make banking industry and the fintech players becomes the flexible, creating experience and become easier between the industry and the customer. So with embedding technology using API, they are bring new services to the market or to the customer. And in the current conditions, they call digitally savvy customer. So with these explanations about the innovation in banking and about the fintech player, we have some much gain to working together between banking and fintech player. And then the fintech players or the banking have the collaborations, or they should be collaborate with the acquiring of new advanced technology. So from these decisions, we are agree with the Diane and Norlin also that the banking and the fintech player should make collaborations. They should working together and creating new advanced technology. What is the next theme? The next theme is about the global compliance, because the global compliance is a key to success in a financial industry worldwide. What is the global compliance? Global compliance is about talking about the security system and the trustworthy service between the bank and also with the fintech player. Both of these player in this industry should build a secure condition and make a trustworthy service. With this security, with this trustworthy informations, they can create own financial system. So it could be independent in the financial industry, and they are trying to never bypass with the regulations, because banking have a rigid regulations, and also fintech player is a new player in a financial industry. So they never try by passing about the regulations. We can see about the examples. The main examples come from the big countries. Is the United States of America. In United States, we found about the single market, but they have a complex and multi-level regulations. The complex between the regulation in this country is comes for the highly fragmented banking and financial industry. The United States is very, very fragmented when we compare to European or Asian countries. And they are having only one bank regulator, that is the Bank of America. Okay. Next to the European countries is similar with the United States. They are still complex, but they agree with the harmonize of regulations. As we know, in 2014, the European countries implementing about the single supervisory mechanism, or we call it SSM. This mechanism is working between 27 of member countries in European country. The next example is comes from Asian countries. We have the example from China and India. Starting with the China. The China financial system is like European countries. They are highly regulated, especially for investment activities, deposit activities, and for lending transactions. From the fragmentations, we can find about the difference function or the segregation of duties between the banks. The People Bank of China will taking an action about the treasury to the government, and the next is the Bank of China. That's a different bank. It's not the People Bank of China, it's a Bank of China. We take the action about the foreign exchange. And the next is the China Development Bank is taking for action for foreign capital and making some international investment between China and other countries. And the China Construction Bank taking action between the lending fund for constructions. Next to the Agricultural Bank of China is creating some lending agreement for agricultural sector. That is the uh, China financial system compared to the United States and the European countries. Next countries for the Asia is we come from the India. India is having the complex with the multi-level of financial system, but the segregations between the bank is different between India and China. In India, they have Reserve Bank of India. In the Reserve Bank of India, taking action about the financial regulator and creating a supervisor activity in financing. And then for the Security and Exchange Board of India, they having some action in capital market and mutual fund. Next, with the regulatory of insurance, they have the Insurance Regulation and Development Authority, or we call IRDA, to taking an action about the insurance sector and pension fund. Comparing with the Asian countries, we also have the information about the OECD countries. The OECD countries is creating agreement in 2012 between peer-to-peer lending, peer-to-business, and business-to-business to create some agreement preventing about the money laundering and the financing of terrorism between the 50 countries member of the OECD. So with these explanations, if you have an options, which fintech do you prefer? Which if you can choose about the local fintech players or global fintech players that have the international agreement between your country and other countries, or in the next options you can make some choice. You can make your own fintechs, you can buy the license of fintechs, or maybe you create new fintech with your partner. This is the options between the fintech teams. You can creating your fintechs in a local with the local transactions or global transactions, and also we can creating the fintech player using by your own buying the license or creating new with your partners. In the next, we will talk about the lending capital in 21st century. In the current year or in the current century, the credit of money is creating about the new or the modern economy. What is the modern economy? The modern economy is combined about the economic conditions and between the data and the technology. The data and technology is key to unlock about the credit in a global. I think it's across the countries. And then it's also we have to needs to lowering the cost of transactions and increasing the frequency of transactions. It is important because we know that the customer can make a credit card swipe in a daily transactions for paying some bills. And in the current years, they are also using the Bitcoin, or we call it the Internet of Money. That is the lending capital in 21st century. Before that, we need to know that fintech player or the fintech regulations make some change. What's the change? We found two changes in this financial industry. The first changes is banks still pull away from the lending risky clients. The bank needs to having a credit to potential clients with low risk because they need to survive or sustain in the global or dynamic conditions. And the second change is about the marketing about the lending platform. We know about the new lending platform in any options and any condition that have mass scale opportunities. So with these two changes, that makes the fintech themes is changing about the financials industry between bank and the fintech player. So bank and fintech player should be collaborate to create new conditions. In our last topic, we will find about the big innovation in a fintech player. The first innovations we found in the banking. Yeah. We can find it the first innovation in 1950 with the invention of the credit card between banks. And the 10 years later, the IBM company creating about the ID card. Remember our last meetings. The IBM company creating with the barcodes, not the QR codes. It's a barcode invent in 1960. And then in 2005, the first cyber attack is found, especially in United States. In this country, they have a social security number stolen. A lot of the number has been stolen in the government. And in 2014, we have a new innovations in fintech player with the social media login using website and invention in the mobile applications. So the social media is not only in the website, they are changing or having some adaptive in the mobile applications. And 2015 is the first digital transaction in the world. So this is the innovation and starting point to fintech player to create some new step or new next step about the journey of the fintech in the financial industry. That is the material for the fintech themes today. If you have any questions, please let me know for Diane and Norlin. Any questions?
None so far, sir. It was clearly discussed.
Okay, none so far. Thank you, Diane. Norlin?
Same here, Mr. Sepchan. None so
Okay.
far. I
Okay.
don't have any
Thank you
questions.
for responding. Okay, before we close the meeting today, I will inform you that in the next day, I will send you about the materials today and the link of recording, and we can meet again in the next Tuesday. I think it's the next week in the Tuesday. Okay.
Okay, sir. But I do have a question, sir, regarding
Yeah.
our assignments.
Yep.
Are we still going to submit
No,
the
no, no.
next assignments that you're going to?
No,
No, sir.
Diane. Okay. I'm sorry if you are enrolled by the administrator in the Ukrida virtual class. Okay. But you doesn't have a responsibility to submit the assignment because you have different assignment between you, only you and Norlin. I think we are not making some assignments because I can ask you directly in this Zoom meeting. We are in the small class, only you and Norlin. So I think it's better that there is no assignments. We can talk directly and getting the answer directly in this class. I think that is clear for
Okay.
you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Okay. If you doesn't have any questions, thank you for coming. And I'm so sorry that I cannot on my camera because my electricity is off. Okay. I will meet you again in the next week with the Zoom meeting again. Thank you for coming today, Norlin and Diane.
Thank you,
Thank you also.
sir.
Okay, good
Chan.
evening.